Hey everyone, this is my Tougie 24 inspired roster. This is the breakdown for it. See, the little bottom right. So what I did was tried to make the most realistic roster as possible. It's hard. It was hard. It took me like 20 hours. So let's just go into it. What I did was, see, here's just Anaheim really quick. Uh, Someone like Gudas was top three in hits. So he got X factors. They're the it's not the zone abilities, it's the superstar abilities. Right? So you got those three. He hits, right? So that's what he got. Someone like I'm trying to think. You know what? Let's go to Vegas. Vegas Golden Knights, the defending Stanley Cup champions. They had Martinez and McCabe they were like two and three, if I'm correct, in block shots. So they got X factors. They got the zone abilities. So I looked at the top 25 hits, blocks, face-off percentages to give them accurate face-off, like stuff, face-offs, block shots, all that stuff. Like for Calgary, Lindholm, I believe, had really good face-off, and you see his 94 face-offs. All right, it's stuff like that. I went realistic. I went through all of the stats. So that's it. I'll go through each team. I try to give players with potential, and try to give old people who are slowly dying out, you know, less potential. And stuff like Gibson. Gibson, I don't know if he's controversial, but he's averaged 3 goals against a game for the last 3 years. I'm being nice with him being a starter. Arizona barely has a goaltending. I've also tried to make this like a realistic sim. Like, I don't know. I feel like LA. When we get to LA, I feel bad when I did LA. Also, before anyone clicks off, I've added all the top 10 draft picks. So anyone who is a top 10 draft pick of this year is in the game. As that means Michkov, Arizona's Russian defenseman. Hold on, is he there? Did the game add him, or did he just go right to the CHL? Or, oh, right there he is. Look at that, Dimitri. All right, so he's drafted like six overall, I believe. So he's there. So, you do one with Arizona, or just Arizona has a guy. Here's Boston. Boston has amazing goaltending. Buffalo does not, but they have potential. Buffalo has really good defensive potential. Yeah. So, it's been days since I've done this team. It's it was a pro. It took long. It took way longer than I would have wanted. I could have rushed through this, and maybe you look through it and you're like, "Hey, you messed up here. You should have done this better. This guy should have been this." I went off stats, all right. And if you think I went badly off stats, then I don't know. I'm sorry. Like I tried. Like Markstrom isn't the elite goaltender EA wanted him to be. Um, I thought Carolina's defense would be better. Carolina has a solid top four, and like D'Angelo's good offensively. Um, well, I'll go through all the team. I'm sorry. Chicago. I felt bad for. My God, look at this. Like, go Bedard. You need backup. Um, yeah, I mean, I used my old roster that I used from watching Tougie 24 streams where he got rostered. So I went off that, and that was the end of the year roster. So this is the beginning of the year, so the roster isn't that different. So if you understand, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Like, and going to the trade deadline, obviously, like if some player played amazing in the playoffs, I gave them a little boost, right? Uh, or like it's just stuff like that. Landeskog, he won't be playing the season. He didn't play last year, so I gave him top 9 potential. I dropped his overall a bit. So if you're Colorado, still use him. Colorado will be a good team. Colorado can still use him. Um, but he will probably get older faster. And just like real life, if he does come back, he probably will slowly degrade. He'll get worse faster because he's been hurt for so long. Right? Right. Or not. I really don't know. Uh, like Andrew Peck was one of the best defensive, shot blockers in the league. So there you go, X Factor, stuff like that. That's stuff I did. It's a little nuances. A lot of backup goaltenders are 77. You might notice that after a while. If you're like Wedgwood, a good backup, you will have a better uh, overall. But there's not a lot of them. Especially after this, like the last, like once we get to Montreal after that, ooh, I went a little crazy with overalls. So Alex DeBrincat, little trader, defenseman, and goalies. I'm sorry if I accidentally skipped someone. I've never done like a full on roster video before. Um, like I wanted to give Jack Campbell a better overall. He just like look at this. This guy barely starts. He he's a fringe starter. Defense. Ekholm. I thought Ekholm was a better defensive defenseman than he was. He's not. I feel bad. Connor McDavid. The franchise man. These are his stats. If I lower defensive awareness by one, he drops one. If I lower it by two, he drops two. It's at that point where I've upped his overall. And I could up his slap shot, but like he's not taking clappers. That's kind of over exaggerating his own clapper. Now, it's just like his puck skills are all the way up. His shooting's all the way up. Like everything is 5 stars except for his physical. Even his technically his defensive awareness isn't 5 stars. Like, I, unless it sucks, I couldn't make him 9 or 9 overall. This is Leon. Leon's right there. I believe him and Leon are like two of the top players. Um, yeah. So yeah, it sucks. I went through the defense. All right, go to the next team. Oh, hold on. Columbus. Was there someone? Another thing I did. Was it Kent Johnson? No. Maybe it was Kent Johnson. I forget. I went through players like playoffs, not playoff stats. Hi Dallas again. He's missed it. Their face-off percentages. Some player like the EA has people playing center who have never played center in their career. It's weird. And the biggest thing I can get to it when we get to Ottawa. This guy, I have nothing on him. See, I left him. Go him. Um, Cam Talbot. Uh, Another team. I'm sorry for just the way I talk, but I think LA has a chance of going to run. If I have to pick a team from what I've rostered edited. Oh yeah, Quinton Byfield was like an 80 something. I dropped him down to 76. My man has 9 goals in his NHL career. 8. He's not that good. There's stuff like that where EA has people like 84 who've done nothing in their career. And so I nerfed that. Cool. But if I had to pick two teams, it'd be LA, New Jersey. In real life, not just off my rosters. Off my rosters, I feel Florida is probably the best team. Florida is definitely one of the best teams I edited. And Montreal's a team I started today edited. Do. See, like Gooley has that. Uh, Forwards. Caulfield gave franchise to. There's a couple guys that got franchises, like the next guy. No, not next guy. No, Nashville's a team. Just cause go Nashville. I meant to be New Jersey next. Luke Shen led the league in hits, so he's got a X factor for hits. Ron McDonough had a bunch of block shots, got that. See, makes sense, right? New Jersey, this guy's he's a fringe starter because he's played 2 seasons as a starter. Really, he's mostly like a half starter. It's weird. He's good. He's good. That's why he's an 84. He's like a starter, but he's a fringe starter. If you get what I mean. Luke Hughes is there. He's ready to go. Forwards, Jack Hughes' franchise. That he's just an amazing kid. Actually, I remember when you could check my live streams if you're curious how I do these. I've done 2 live streams with this. McLeod, one of the best centers at faceoffs in the league, and so is Nico Heischer. Like New Jersey is just amazing at faceoffs for whatever reason. So is Bo Horvat. That's why he has that X factor. He is one of the best. He's like top 5 in the league at faceoffs. So I give him that ability. Pajot is right there too. That's why he has that, and so overall his awareness will reflect that. Defense. The Islanders, EA gave them really good defense, but no, it's because of Eli Sorokin, and they have 2 starting goaltenders in net. It's not their defense, and statistically, it's the goaltender. Igor is really good. Adam Fox, Trouba is an amazing defensive defenseman, and he plays a little offense. So go him. Nerf these guys a little bit. Brought Chris Kreider up. For some reason, EA hates Chris Kreider. I don't know why. Alexis needs to get his life together, but he's still an 80. He's still decent. Did I go through everything? Yep. And then we go to Ottawa, where we got Timmy Stutzla and Claude Giroux, and they got a top 6, and then it falls off badly, like really bad. I mean, they got really good, really Gregly, and Thomas Chabot and Jacob Chitrin isn't as good as everyone made him out to be when we traded for him. Again, I'm an Ottawa fan. I gave it away. Jake Sanderson, franchise guy. He seems like he's going to be really good. I actually went off Tougie. Tougie game franchise. I would have given him elite. And Brandstrom's maybe going to kick around. It's bad. And the goaltending. We don't got goaltending. We paid him 4 years. I like that I switched to once we got to Ottawa. $4 million, 5 years. He's a fringe starter. He has barely started in his career. Like it's bad. Carter Hart dropped him down to an 83, and they have another guy who's looks good. Defenseman York, another franchise guy, but they got nothing around him. Not a damn thing. Forwards. I didn't give Michkov that high of an overall. For the one fact is he's a Russian, and he will technically be in Russia for a year or two because of legal stuff or whatever. So it makes sense. He's an elite. He'll jump up. He might be ready for year 2 to make the NHL, but hopefully year 3 and then year 2, whatever. It just makes sense. He's good, and he'll get there. And Pittsburgh, Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, they have a good top 6. And kind of like Ottawa, they die off pretty fast. But unlike Ottawa, they have 2 really... Ottawa has 2 decent defensemen, but they're more rounded. And they have a starting goaltender. San Jose has 2 backups. Kind of has defensemen, not really. Don't really have wingers. They have second to third line wingers at best. And Hurdle. Hurdle's not bad. And there's Will Smith, drafted 5th overall, I believe. I'll go to forward. Seattle isn't looking bad, but isn't looking the best. Defenseman. Dunn's good. Everyone else is kind of meh. Hold on, I'll show the goalie. The goalies are those two guys. St. Louis, that kid looks like he'll be decent. Binnington's getting old, and he's not that good. Honestly, their defenseman is like just they're like they're top four defensemen. Letty is not. I don't know why they traded so much for Letty. My God. And their offense ain't that bad at all. They have a good top nine, and then these guys are prospects that were on the team. Tampa Bay, Kucherov, Point, Stamkos. It's not a bad team. Not a bad top six, honestly. And then it falls off. Hedman's there, Sergachev's there, then Cernak. Cernak's a shutdown defenseman, so I gave him that ability. But overall, like he doesn't do everything that well, and then it just falls off for these guys. And then they have Vasilevsky net, and then nothing. And now we go to Toronto, who has Samsonov at 83. Jones is a backup 80, and Woll is a starter high because he's getting better each year. His like goals against average is constantly going down, which is great. His save percentage goes up. Could that just be the fact he's on a team that's really good? Yeah, sure, but he still has to stop the puck. So, sit Morgan Riley. He's an offensive defenseman. He's not that good defensively. All I lowered was the defensive awareness. So I promise you. Giordano's better than the game had him as. Klingberg is worse. Like, look at. Yeah, he had 10 goals, but like he's bad. He's bad defensively, guys. Forwards. John Tavares is another. He's arguably the best center, face-off man. Sorry, center, best face-off man in the league now. That Patrice Bergeron gone, and John Tavares. John Tavares. He's John Tavares. Jonathan Taves. So yeah, this is the rest of the make me laughs. Vancouver. Vancouver has a decent top six, and then it gets bad. Same with their defense. They have like two guys, and then it falls off to having a lot of good top six defensemen. Demko was like an 87. This guy was an 87, averaging like 3 goals against per game. They played 30 games 2 seasons. Like this year was good. If he had this year 2 years in a row, then yeah, that makes sense. But he's barely played and he loses. I don't know, EA. I don't know, EA. Vegas, Hill went on that run. Leonard's still there, so they're all fringe starters. Like no one is a starter here. I gave Hill the dialed in thing and the energizer because he went on the run. I showed you this defensive core. They have their depth is great. I don't know what these guys are, but they have a good defensive core. Their offense, their top six is good, and then they just have the depth. Washington, Ovechkin's getting old. He can still put the puck in the net, but that's about it. Max Pacioretty hasn't played, but I brought his overall a little bit. Go down to defenseman. Carlson's getting old. Washington just kind of kicking around almost. And lastly, Hellebuck. Winnipeg Jets defense ain't what it used to be. It's a shell of its former self. And there you go. There it is. That's my rosters. I can show you free agency really quick. I edited the first handful of guys just to just so that they didn't sign for anything crazy. Patrick Kane's there. He's an 84. Kessel's still an 81. Jonathan Taves is an 81. Zach Parise down to 79. Stastny's down to 78. Halak, 78. 78. 78. You see. I think that's as far as I really got. All right. So that's my rosters. I could do better. I know it. I could have went even way more in depth, but I put a lot of hours into this, and if anyone sees this, hope you like it. All right, yeah, thanks for watching, and the roster's on the PS5. I should make that clear. I guess should have made that clear at the beginning. Oof. All right, see ya next time.